How to care for a sick bearded dragon. Caring for a sick bearded dragon properly begins by assessing any signs of illness. Identifying the animal's symptoms allows you to assess the severity of them, begin treatment, and figure out whether they are getting worse. You also need to know when it is time to get the bearded dragon veterinary care, rather than simply treating it at home. With some care from you, including knowing when to seek out help, your bearded dragon should be able to recover from whatever is ailing it. Caring for your bearded dragon at home. Make your bearded dragon as comfortable as possible. If your bearded dragon is sick, you should make sure that the conditions in its cage are ideal. Above all, make sure that its home is warm enough and that it has access to food that it likes to eat, even if its illness doesn't allow it to move very far. Your bearded dragon should have an area of its home that is warmer and an area that is cooler. The warmer side should be 95 degrees Fahrenheit to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius to 43 degrees Celsius, and the cooler side should be around 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. This allows the animal to decide what temperature it wants to be in at any given time. Make sure that your pet has enough water. Dehydration can lead to severe illness in bearded dragons. They also need plenty of water in order for their systems to recover from other illnesses. Replace your bearded dragon's water daily to ensure that your pet always has plenty of clean drinking water in its bowl. Dehydration itself can be the cause of illness in bearded dragons. If you suspect that your pet is dehydrated, offer it clean drinking water from a syringe or bottle. If it still won't drink, you can offer it a beverage made to minimize dehydration, such as Pedialyte. You should also consult with your veterinarian about the possible need for intravenous fluids. Look for signs of discomfort. If your bearded dragon is sick and you are trying to care for it, it is important to keep an eye out for signs of discomfort or increased illness. When caring for a sick bearded dragon, look for these symptoms and consult with your veterinarian if they begin or become worse over time. Lethargy, erratic movements, swollen body parts, changes in mood or behavior, awkward posture, no appetite, abnormal elimination. Practice good husbandry to keep your bearded dragon healthy and to help it recover from illness more quickly. It is important to keep its home clean. On a daily basis, you should clean up the animal's tank by removing old food, feces, and other messes. On a weekly basis, the whole tank should be cleaned and the bedding, dishes, and other items in the tank should all be cleaned with a disinfectant. Keeping your bearded dragon's tank clean will minimize any bacteria and viruses that could infect your pet and make its condition worse. Getting veterinary care for your bearded dragon. Take your bearded dragon to a veterinarian. If you suspect that your bearded dragon is sick, you should have it looked at by a vet. A vet can assess the animal's health and run tests to find out exactly what is causing your pet to be unwell. If you are unsure whether your bearded dragon's illness is serious, feel free to call your veterinary clinic. Tell them your pet's symptoms, and then ask if they think you should bring your pet in. In most cases, if your pet is sick and you are not sure what is causing it, it is a good idea to consult with the veterinarian right away. Help the veterinarian with assessment and diagnosis. When you bring your bearded dragon in, the vet will need to do a variety of tests to find the cause of the illness. They will also need information from you about your pet's health history and the symptoms of its current illness. Give the vet any information you can about your pet so that the cause of its illness can be determined as quickly as possible. Allow your veterinarian to do testing and treatment on your pet. When you bring your pet into a veterinary office for assessment and treatment, you should allow your veterinarian to do the testing they think is required for diagnosis. Once the vet thinks they have figured out the problem, discuss possible treatment options and allow treatment to take place if you find their suggestions reasonable and helpful for your animal. Allow your vet to use a variety of diagnostic tests. For example, an ultrasound can be very helpful for figuring out what is wrong with your bearded dragon. Since veterinarians cannot rely on verbal confirmation of symptoms from animals, getting a picture of what is going on inside your bearded dragon's body can be especially helpful in determining what illness it has. Follow your veterinarian's suggestions for continued treatment at home. If your bearded dragon has an illness that needs continued treatment, your vet will tell you how to proceed. Be sure to ask the vet any questions you have about how to give your pet proper treatment, and feel free to call them for clarification at any later point. For example, in the case of infectious stomatitis, your pet will need to have its mouth rinsed with an antibiotic solution regularly until the infection clears. Your veterinarian should show you how to do this and tell you how long it should be done for. Identifying signs of illness. Know the ailments that are common for bearded dragons. Knowing bearded dragons' typical illnesses will help you to assess their health over time and allow you to spot problems before they become serious. The most common illnesses that bearded dragons experience include metabolic bone disease, infectious stomatitis, mouth rot, gastrointestinal problems, parasites, and obstructed labor. Less common conditions that bearded dragons can get include gastric cancer, liver cancer, kidney failure, and viral infections. Look for abnormal eyes. A bearded dragon that is sick might have droopy or puffed out eyes. This can signal a variety of illnesses, including kidney problems or an eye infection. Puffy eyes is also a sign that your bearded dragon is about to shed. If you see other signs of shedding, then it is safe to assume that the eye issues are related to the shedding. Monitor your dragon's bathroom schedule. Bearded dragons tend to have a very regular bathroom schedule. If your dragon doesn't go to the bathroom as usual, or it has diarrhea or another change in its feces, then it may be sick. If your bearded dragon has not gone to the bathroom for several days yet still continues to eat, it can become a major health problem. Take the animal to be seen by a vet so that any digestive problems can be treated quickly. Look for changes to your bearded dragon's body. Several diseases that are common in bearded dragons, including metabolic bone disease and infectious stomatitis, cause changes to the surface of the animal's body. Metabolic bone disease can cause swelling on the animal's body, and infectious stomatitis causes swelling and mucus to form around the mouth. If any part of your pet's body is swollen, you should have it looked at by a veterinarian. Pay attention to changes in behavior. If your bearded dragon is sick, it is likely to have behavioral changes that show that it is not feeling well. Look for lethargy or an unwillingness to move, even when you give your pet a snack that it is usually excited to eat. This illustrates that the bearded dragon is not feeling like its usual self. Assess whether your bearded dragon is just going through a natural process. Bearded dragons go through several processes every year that can be mistaken for illness. For example, they can go into hibernation in the fall or winter that is called brumation. During this process, your dragon can appear lethargic and listless even though it is perfectly healthy. Bearded dragons also shed naturally. During this time their color can change and their eyes can bulge out a bit. If you are not expecting this, it can appear as if your bearded dragon is not healthy when it actually is.